Our next category, the best television dramas of all time, covers a lot of ground. There are medical shows and mysteries and science fiction and period dramas. How could you possibly have narrowed them all down to 5? But you did. At number 5 on your favorite TV drama list, the show that proved that drinking, smoking, and sex in the office does not stifle creativity. Mad Men. Mad Men is about the men and women who work in advertising on Madison Avenue. Set in the 1960s, the suits are crisp, curves are in fashion, and sexism rules the day.
It wouldn't be a sin for us to see your legs. If you pull your waist in a little bit, you might look like a woman.
This season, it is nominated for a record-breaking 17 Emmys.
Any objections?
But 6 years ago, only a madman would have thought Mad Men could ever be so successful.
Mad Men was AMC's very first show. So my agents thought, well, gosh, this is a risk. We don't know where this is going to go.
I don't like your tone.
And it scared them.
When 25-year-old John Hamm first came to Hollywood, he was scared that he would never find a job. He was told that he looked too old.
The mandate was like younger. I was not getting Dawson's Creek, but I would get called in for their dad.
Then in 2006, Hamm read for the part of Don Draper.
I had tested for about 7 shows and not gotten any of them. And this was the last, and I thought, well, 0 for 8, I guess. And thought I'd never work again.
The network thought Mad Men wouldn't work.
I did tell the network when they were like, well, what happens? You know, it's like that Seinfeld episode. It's a show about nothing. They go, well, what happens? And I go, well, they sleep together. And they're like, and I said, the sex is the violence on this show.
Stop torturing me.
Don Draper is the bad boy who looks like the good boy.
What are you doing?
I told you to stop talking.
He's the bad guy without the leather jacket and the greased hair. Instead, he's got an impeccable suit, a jaw of steel. He looks like Superman, but he acts like the villain.
What you call love was invented by guys like me to sell nylons.
Is that right?
It's extremely appealing to think that you might be the woman who would break through that shell and get to the real heart of the man underneath.
Haven't you had enough of my magic for one day?
The 4th best drama of all time, your vote, the show that made politics look exciting, The West Wing. The West Wing is writer Aaron Sorkin's idealistic look at life in the White House, with a fictional President Bartlett played by Martin Sheen.
There aren't enough teachers in our classroom.
Critics called it the left wing.
Political shows honestly never do very well on television. The odds were completely against it.
But it beat the odds, in part because of Aaron Sorkin's writing.
Oh, shut up, honest to God. Do you ever get tired of the sound of your own voice?
No.
The dialogue was often delivered while moving. The signature walk and talk. The longest walk and talk they ever filmed was this one. Shot in one continuous take up and down stairs, it lasted almost 4 minutes. At number 3 on the best drama list, a show that gave us mafia family values in a suburban McMansion. The Sopranos. Dark, funny,
I think it's time for you to start to seriously consider salads.
and violent.
The Sopranos was a genius combination of Days of Our Lives.
I don't love you anymore. I don't want you.
And Goodfellas.
You took it off, and you broke it.
Tony Soprano runs a crime family, but he's also in therapy.
My dad was tough. He ran his own crew.
A mafia don with a shrink. I mean, is there a better plot twist than that?
Guy like that, and my mother wore him down to a little nub.
The Sopranos was showered with awards and ushered in an era of sophisticated cable television. From villainous to visionary.
You're traveling through another dimension.
Imagine a show with different characters every week, where the strange and unexplainable happens. You've been transported to your second choice for best drama. You are now in the Twilight Zone.
How come you're the only one with lights now?
The show aired from 1959 to 1964.
In just a moment, you will enter a strange province that knows neither north nor south.
Each episode, an eerie psychological thriller, introduced by its creator, Rob Serling.
A place we call the Twilight Zone.
He seemed a very kind of dark character. It's as if he existed in the Twilight Zone.
Don't be afraid.
The show was studded with young actors who went on to become stars. Robert Redford, Carol Burnett, William Shatner, and a 5-year-old, Ron Howard.
You're not Marty Sloan. I know Marty Sloan, and you're not him.
And the #1 best drama of all time, which showed us that even a trip to the ER can be less painful when your doctor looks like George Clooney.
Suction! Suction, let's move!
I've got an angle on it.
It felt real.
I could just, damn.
They wanted it to feel like a documentary.
It scared us.
Good, good.
There was more blood.
Whoa.
There was more chaos. There were cameras that didn't cut away.
How dare you speak to me this way?
treat your child like this?
A then unknown Clooney had been in a string of failed shows, including a sitcom called, get this, ER.
Pressure?
Yeah, but I can handle it.
He was determined that this show would succeed.
George went to every actor on the set saying, you're going to come to work each and every day, prepared and giving it your all. We are going to make this work.
The show premiered in 1994 with a core cast of 6 who had to master the complex medical jargon in the script.
X-ray in here, portable C-spine, CBC typing across 6 units.
How do you learn all those things?
There is a part of you that picks it up, and all of a sudden you understand supraventricular tachyarrhythmia and stuff like that. The problem is you have to learn it every day. Do what?
Say it again.
Supraventricular tachyarrhythmia. It's just speeding up of the heart.
Piece of cake. When I spoke to Clooney in 1995, he was planning his next career move.
And then when my contract's up, then I'll go try and do some movies. If anybody wants to see them, we don't know.
Of course, people did want to see them. Clooney would go on to become a sex symbol, superstar, and a cultural icon. After Clooney left ER, new characters came and went, but the audience stayed. ER lasted for 15 seasons, the longest-running medical show ever, and one hospital visit we never wanted to end.